Hey everybody, this is kind of my after Ellaville Knife Show video. I got a really good idea from Ryan from RH Blade and Shade to kind of do it in parts. So I did get a lot of knives. I don't know if any of you saw my short, but I got a lot of knives. So I don't want to do one huge video and just try to cram them all in one video. I'm going to kind of split it up and maybe keep people interested in those little, maybe like 10 or 15 minute videos instead of doing all one huge movie. So I got kind of, I'm doing kind of an order here of maybe a little bit of story behind each knife I go past, or just like I have them in order of how I bought them, how I got them, that type of thing. This is kind of not a tribute video, I wouldn't say, but like a thank you video for Deep South Cutlery. I got their decal right here. I already have one on my knife toolbox, but here's a picture one. And as you can see, I got their hat on, and they gave me this hat. I bought this one, they gave me this one. And just including Deep South Cutlery, met a lot of great people. I don't want to start on our live video, me and my dad's live video, Knife Crazy. We named a bunch of people that we met. The only time I'm going to be naming people is stuff that I have of theirs, meaning leather products or items they gave me, that type of thing, or knives, anything like that. But so far, that is I've been to Blade Show multiple times. That is the best knife event I've ever been to. It doesn't compare to anything. Probably the best event I've ever been to. Just because kind of personal with Kevin on a friend knife basis. He's friends with my grandpa. We met him multiple times, and then it's his personal live show. So that's already a personal level for me. And then on top of that, just the absolute great turnout from the knife community and all of his community, the Ellaville community, and towns over that heard about it, and people traveling from all over the country, from Florida, Mississippi, Deep South Cutlery, and a bunch of other people, Warren Anvils, that he traveled with them. New York, Virginia, just absolutely insane, the turnout. We were thinking, talking with Kevin, talking with my grandpa, Mr. Wade, we were thinking, maybe a couple hundred people, and that's what we were hoping on. We were hoping on maybe 300 people, and probably close to 2,000 people showed up, and it was just, gosh, it was insane. And on video and in person, whenever all the dealers weren't set up yet, the Harrison Woods Event Center looked pretty big. With the big American flag, I don't know if you've seen on Kevin's video, but it was pretty big. When you get there and the room is filled, aisles with like 9 people packed together, it's just insane how small it got real quick. And the back room completely full. The main room with all the tables, all the main vendors, not meaning the back room didn't have main vendors, but just the vendors in the main room is just, every table had knives on it, but more of the like vintage knives and knives that I personally would want to see, other than your Savivis or Kaisers or something you see at Blade Show. I don't really care to look at those. I care to look at vintage case knives, GECs, vintage USA made knives. There were a good variety of maybe your imported knives, but still, majority of them USA made, vintage knives, and it was insane. Kevin put on a amazing show, more than anybody expected, and that's a good thing. When it meets your expectations and then goes well beyond that, it's a good day. But you know what? Let's quit beating the horse. Beating the horse, I guess, is the saying. But let's just get into some knives, and I'll kind of explain the story behind them. So obviously the very first knife I had to pick up, Ellaville Knife Show 2024, Bear & Sons Barlow with the Knife Doctor etched on the blade. 4-inch Barlow. Here's the packaging. It's they call it stag bone, India stag bone I've also seen. But I did have one other one of these. I don't know if you've seen it on my Instagram or a short, but I had the red carbon steel one, and this is carbon steel, but Kevin asked them not to put the little 4th generation thing on it. I just think it looks so much better without the little shield. If you know what I mean, then you know what I'm talking about. But just a good looking knife. I do think my one little narc about it, obviously no narcs because it's the first ever Ellaville Knife Show knife and it's got the Knife Doctor laser etched on it. But I do think like a genuine stag would look better, and Case's bone stag does look more, they've got it dialed in, if you know what I mean. But Bear & Sons isn't trying to make this look like stag. They're just kind of make it look like burnt, jigged bone. Okay, that's the first knife, of course. Had to get that one. This kind of jumps out of order a little bit, but I did need to show these because I technically did get them at the knife show, kind of. This is a 75 pattern. And what I mean by kind of is I got these from my grandpa before the knife show. The evening before the knife show. This is I think it's 2015. Yep, 2015. Large Stockman from the Workman series. Blue jigged synthetic with a satin finish, and they left the grind lines in it. Some people might not like that just because it's not as traditional as, you know, your highly polished, but I think it's pretty cool, especially for the Workman series. But one complaint about this, it's the Workman series, but it's stainless steel, so it's kind of weird. But that's the box if you want to see that. Got that from my grandpa, so not at the show technically, but I'm still going to put it in the part 1 of the Ellaville Knife Show video. Now this is about, and none of these are cleaned up yet, the ones that did need to be cleaned up a little bit. This is about as good as copperheads get, in my opinion. This is a 2000 green Appaloosa. There's the 10 X's and dots. Very cool looking shield when it's a 2000. Wharncliffe, so there's the pattern number for Wharncliffe, W6249, stainless steel, half stops. Now, these knives, I've had a couple, but this one is so pretty. In the next upcoming part 2, part 3, you might see some more copperheads. Not going to give anything away, but you might see some more. Something about the way that Wharncliffe blade looks. Now, I do like the pin blade on copperheads, don't get me wrong, but that Wharncliffe blade looks so good. The profile of the knife with that in it just looks so good. Now, look at the bone on the back. That thing is just so pretty. Half stops. I did need to oil it a little bit, but also got that one from my grandpa before the show. Now, this one, if you know case knives, who hasn't heard of a 6318? But this one was a little bit, not special, but different. One that I don't have. This is I think my grandpa called it a Carolina clip blade. And the super sharp 6318s are a California clip blade. But in my opinion, this clip blade just looks so much better than the California. Pocket worn red bone, stainless steel, 6318, and this is also a 2015. Snap, amazing snap. That's about as good as 6318s get, in my opinion. Now this knife, it's a little special to me just because if you know what Whatnot is, it's an auction. I mean, if you don't know what Whatnot is, it's an auctioning website, a live auction. So somebody could be showing a knife and you're bidding on the knife they're showing. And I downloaded it because of Kevin. Kevin was doing his charity auctions on there. And I ended up getting into the little rabbit hole of, you know, the knife section of Whatnot. And there are some good channels out there. And there were 2 trappers. I collect trappers, so I was bidding on 2 trappers. There was this one. Insane how beautiful that is. And the one that I ended up getting. Now this one was being bid on by Ken Liu, a Whatnot guy that we did meet at the knife show. And he had a table set up, him and Vincent. I think Ken is, I didn't catch his full name. I think it's Kenny or Kenneth, but met him. They rode in together and they had a table set up together. And they were selling knives. I'm assuming they got from Whatnot. And this one I know for a fact was on Whatnot because I was bidding on this knife. And me and him were having kind of a little bid war. And I let him, I say let, I didn't want to buy both of them at the same time. So I got the one, he got this one. And when I ended up getting there, he was like, "You're the guy I was bidding on the auction with," and we were having kind of a bid war. I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember that on the 2 trappers." Well, the guy sent the wrong boxes. So I got his box and he got mine. And he goes, "Oh, we'll just swap boxes." I was like, "Oh, I have the knife at the house. We'll just have to mail them." He goes, "Well, since you're here, I'm selling the knife. You just want to buy it?" I said, "Sure thing." So this was the first knife that I purchased other than the Ellaville special. I got that the night before. So I guess this is the first knife. Just insane jigging on that. Look at that jigging. Insane color on the bone. And then the just classy looking 12 gauge shield on there with the XX on it. This is stainless steel. Your classic 54 pattern. Get the other blade open. Stainless steel, 6254. Just insane looking trapper. I'm glad it ended up back home with me. I was bidding on it and it ended up back with me. Just worked out perfect. Now, kind of this portion of the video is a little talk about Deep South Cutlery. Whenever we were at the knife doctor's house, Kevin's house, we got barbecue and everybody brought in sides and drinks and everything. It was a couple YouTubers, a couple close friends, my grandpa, Kevin, of course, and he invited Deep South Cutlery and a couple of vendors that were going to be there the next day to kind of, he cooked 5 Boston butts. Insane. Kevin knows what he's doing with the barbecue. And we brought the sides and everything to kind of go with the Boston butts. And we all got there. It was Dwayne Clark from Clark's Kentucky Knives, Aaron from AW Custom Designs. Check out their YouTubes. Mark, he was a vendor, and he gave Kevin the big wooden cutout with his logo on it, and just cool looking, CNC'd out and everything. Very cool. He was there. His wife was there. They brought this amazing cake. World famous Michael Hale was there. Got to meet him. Very nice guy. He was very nice to be around. Everybody there was just very nice to be around. A subscriber came, Jerry Phillips. He's subscribed to a bunch of different channels, but he was there. His wife, Lamar, Eric, my grandpa, me, my dad, Knife Crazy, and it was just a really good time. Got to meet a lot of cool people. and Deep South Cutlery came to the barbecue, and they set up the table at the Harrison Woods Event Center, and then they ended up coming over to the barbecue. Drove, I think it was 11 or 12 hours from Mississippi, got there, unpacked everything, and then came to the barbecue. Just crazy. 1-day trip all the way there and did everything all in 1 day. They came in, and Preacher, that's the dad, and he owns Deep South Cutlery, and before we ate dinner, he prayed, and everybody prayed together. It was a very cool experience to hear a prayer from him, and we all started eating, and they are the nicest people in the world. If you watch the Facebook auctions, all of what you see them do, none of that is acting. That is exactly how they are in real life. Just Seth, Kevin Stubbs, Preacher, Warren Anvils was with them. Very nice guy. I got to talking with him. I talked with him about getting an anvil with my logo on it, and I need to email him about that and get that set up. But just Seth, talked with him for a while, talked with him at the show. Very nice guy. Very nice to talk to. Just pleasant people to be around. Kevin, as soon as they got there, Kevin Stubbs went around to every single person that was at the barbecue, shook their hands, nice to meet you, what's your name, thanks for coming, that type of thing. And just insane people, very nice to be around. Yeah, I honestly can't say enough about them. And you really don't understand that. You kind of get it from watching their lives and from hearing about them from Kevin, but you really don't understand how nice and good people they are until you meet them. And honestly, that's all I can say is come to next year and meet them. But I bought one knife from them. This was the second knife I bought at the auction. So Kevin showed me this knife. We went and ate dinner with him months back, and he got this knife from them. I think it's a Deep South Cutlery exclusive from Bear & Sons. And as soon as I held that knife, I said, Kevin, how much do you want for it? And he said, man, I really don't want to get rid of this one. They said they're bringing some to the Ellaville Knife Show. So I said, well, that's the first knife I'm getting. Obviously, I had to buy the trapper that I was bidding on or whatnot. I handed him the money and said, all right, thank you, nice doing business with you, whatever. I already had that planned out from the night before. But this one was the one that I just shot for, and I just had to get it. This is a genuine stag. It says vintage on the blade. A genuine stag, fat stag at that. Bear & Sons trapper. Just amazing looking stag, fat stag. And this to me trumps this any day. I didn't even know Bear & Sons made real stag folding knives. I just thought they just made the India stag bone. But as soon as I figured out about this, I mean, look at the kind of gnarls on there, and it's more black than anything. It just, man, that looks so good. I just had to get it. And as far as I know, this is a Deep South Cutlery exclusive, so you can only get it from them. I would not walk. I would run to Deep South Cutlery and get this knife. I mean, for $100 bill, you can have just a USA-made genuine stag trapper. Very well built. I'd say comparable to new case knives. I'd say that's pretty comparable. I mean, this is a 2015, and I'd say fit and finish and quality is par with case knives. Now, after I did that transaction, I went over to Seth and I said, Seth, where's the Stag Bear & Sons trapper? I need one. Pointed me in the right direction, got out a couple. I picked which one I wanted. And he goes, I started looking down the line, some Queens, some old case knives and stuff. And he goes, says to Preacher, we got any of those trade show knives? I was like, oh, I guess they're just going to put some on the table to sell. And Seth goes, oh, yeah, I'll grab one. grabs a trade show knife from their knife show, trade show, whatever you want to call it, in Mississippi that Kevin went to. And they made custom Bear & Sons for it and numbered and everything and handed me one. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I went to go hand it back to him. He said, keep it. I said, oh my gosh, and that just verified what I originally thought. My first impressions were right. Just very nice people. If you have any question about if they like knives or if they're just in it for the money or anything like that, yes, they want to sell knives, but also their passion and their drive to collect and like knives is higher than that. I mean, they actually do care about knives. They care about the knife community and everything. But yes, they're a business. They also want to do sales. But it says, kind of hard to tell with the lighting, Deep South Cutlery right there on the bolster. Carbon steel. And it says trade days 2024. Seth just handed me the box. Preacher was standing there. He goes, keep it. I said, wow, that's very nice. That's the box. Comes in a 10. This is number 110 out of however many they made. I don't remember. But they had some left over. Just handed me one. Like I said, check out Deep South Cutlery. Great people. Amazing knives. I mean, a layout of like 5 or 6 tables of just the best knives you've ever seen. Vintage, newer knives. And they do customs. They'll take like, obviously not this knife, but they'll take a knife like that and then put like a bars and stars on it. If you know what that means, then you know what that means. Southern. I won't get political, but they put Trump on there. They can do pretty much whatever you want. Kevin actually gave me a knife for my birthday, and it says Carolina Knives on it, and they're the ones who burnt and etched that on there. And Seth recognized that, and he said, oh, we're the ones who etched that knife for you. I was like, yep, yes, sir. And just fantastic people to be around. I'm so glad we got to go to the barbecue the night before just to meet everybody before it got busy. That was just, I think the barbecue was honestly better than the show. And the show was fantastic. So if that tells you anything. Kevin, if you're watching this video, I just want to say great job again. Amazing turnout. I'm so happy for Kevin. It's unbelievable. And everybody who couldn't show up, I just kind of feel bad for you just because of how good of a turnout it was. And I wanted to kind of do this as a part 1, just kind of thank Deep South Cutlery and kind of explain my thought process through the part 1, part 2, part 3, however many I'm going to do. But thank you for watching. Go check out everybody's channel, Terry and Mike and Hunting for Hookers and Aaron, their rundown of the knife show. Go check out their videos and have a nice day.